Have you ever wondered why we're so drawn to the darkness? Why stories of doomed heroes, cursed lands, and forbidden magic grip us tighter than any tale of light and virtue? There's a reason for that, and it's far more unsettling than you think. Dark fantasy isn't just a genre, it's a reflection of something buried deep within us all. Stay with me and I'll show you why this world of shadows and nightmares is more alive than ever. Picture this: a kingdom drowned in perpetual twilight, where the sky bleeds red as monstrous wings eclipse the moon. A lone traveler walks a road paved with bones, guided only by whispers of the damned. In dark fantasy, hope is fragile, and every choice carries the weight of doom. These stories don't promise salvation, they test the limits of the human soul. Unlike traditional fantasy, where good triumphs over evil, dark fantasy thrives in the gray. There are no true heroes, only survivors. Think of Berserk, where Guts battles against an uncaring fate, or The Witcher, where Geralt is neither savior nor villain, just a man lost in a world where morality is nothing but a luxury. In these stories, the line between man and monster blurs until there's nothing left but survival. But why do we love this? Why do we willingly step into these cursed lands, knowing there is no light at the end? The answer lies in our own fears. Dark fantasy speaks to the part of us that knows the world isn't fair. It gives us monsters with human hearts and humans more monstrous than demons. It strips away illusions and forces us to ask, what would I do if the world turned against me? Look at Bloodborne, a game that throws you into a nightmare of eldritch horrors where sanity itself is a fleeting dream. Or Game of Thrones, where honor is a weakness and those who believe in justice are the first to die. These stories captivate us because they feel real. They remind us that life isn't a fairy tale, it's a battlefield, and not everyone makes it to the end. But dark fantasy isn't just about suffering, it's about resilience. The broken knight still lifts his sword, even as his flesh rots beneath his armor. The cursed sorceress still casts her spells, even as her soul is devoured by the very magic she wields. There's a beauty in the struggle, a poetry in the pain. And that's what makes these stories unforgettable. Even the settings breathe darkness. Imagine a forest so ancient that the trees whisper secrets older than gods. Or a ruined city where the statues weep black tears, their faces twisted in silent agony. These worlds aren't just dangerous, they're alive. Every shadow hides a story, every ruin is a grave of forgotten horrors. The creatures of dark fantasy are just as haunting. Not your typical goblins or elves, but things far worse. The Striga from The Witcher, a cursed princess who feasts on flesh. The God Hand from Berserk, being so powerful and cruel they make devils look merciful. These aren't just monsters, they're nightmares given form. And then there's magic. In dark fantasy, spells come with a price. Blood magic demands sacrifice. Forbidden knowledge drives men to madness. Power corrupts, and the greater the magic, the greater the horror it brings. There is no simple fireball here. Every incantation is a pact with forces beyond human comprehension. So why, despite all this darkness, do we keep coming back? Because dark fantasy doesn't lie to us. It doesn't promise a perfect world. It embraces the chaos, the suffering, the raw and brutal truths of existence. And in doing so, it gives us something real, something more terrifying and beautiful than any tale of heroes and happy endings. Dark fantasy has never been more popular, and there's a reason for that. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, these stories give us something honest. They show us characters who fight even when the odds are hopeless. They give us worlds where beauty and horror are one and the same. And they remind us that darkness is not just something to be feared. It's something to be understood. Take a story like The First Law by Joe Abercrombie. There are no chosen ones here, no destined heroes, only broken people making impossible choices. The mighty are cruel, the weak are desperate, and kindness is often repaid with betrayal. Yet within all this, there's something deeply human. A spark of defiance, a refusal to give in. This is what makes dark fantasy resonate so deeply. It's about the struggle, not the victory. And let's not forget the legends that shaped this genre. Before Dark Souls or The Witcher, there was Lovecraft, writing about cosmic horrors that cared nothing for mankind. There was Tolkien's Morgoth, the original Dark Lord, and Michael Moorcock's Elric of Melniboné, a sorcerer cursed by the very sword that gave him power. Dark fantasy isn't new. It has always been with us, whispering from the shadows of ancient myths and forgotten nightmares. But perhaps the most powerful thing about dark fantasy is how it makes us feel. There's something addictive about that mix of fear and fascination, that sense of stepping into a world where anything can happen. A world where every light has a shadow and every victory has a cost. It's not just storytelling, it's an experience, one that lingers long after the final page is turned or the screen fades to black. That's why this genre keeps growing, why it continues to inspire books, movies, games, and entire worlds. Because in the end, we don't just want to hear about heroes who win easily. We want to see them suffer, struggle, and endure. We want to walk with them through the darkness, not knowing if they'll make it out alive. Because that's what makes a story unforgettable. The real question is, why do you love dark fantasy? Is it the tragic heroes, the monstrous gods, the haunting beauty of cursed lands? Or maybe, just maybe, it's the feeling that somewhere, deep in the shadows of these stories, a part of you belongs there too. Whatever the reason, one thing is certain, dark fantasy isn't going anywhere. It's more than just a trend, it's a reflection of something primal, something we've carried with us since the first time we feared the night. And as long as there are stories to tell, there will always be tales of blood, magic, and the long, winding road into the abyss. So if you crave the dark, if you find beauty in the broken, if you believe that the best stories aren't the ones where heroes win, but the ones where they fight, then you're exactly where you need to be. And now, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite dark fantasy story? Which world haunts you the most? Drop a comment below and let's dive into the abyss together. If you enjoyed this journey into darkness, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because this is just the beginning. More legends, more nightmares, more untold secrets await. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.